start with you, Emily. Is it a family thing? How did you become a City fan?
Yeah, it all stemmed from my older brother, my only sibling, Simon. He's 3 years older than me, and growing up, we did everything together. So I was the annoying little sister chasing him around everywhere and wanting to know what he was doing and being interested in all his hobbies. So his love of City actually came from our Uncle Bob, who took him to City versus Everton back in the 80s. Uncle Bob is a City fan, and Simon randomly thought, I'll be an Everton fan, and then City got beat and he felt sorry for City, so he thought, right, I'll be a City fan. And then he started watching the games more and more, and I remember the 10-1, the Huddersfield game, and I was inquisitive, asking him about what he was watching all the time. And it literally went from there. And I remember being one of the only girls in the playground at primary school, still talking to the boys about football. Oh yeah, I'm a City fan, and they were like Everton and Liverpool fans, United fans, and I was the only blue and by far and away the only girl. All the other girls were like running around, and I was just still talking to the boys. So yeah, back in the late 80s, it kind of went from there, really.
Was it something that, when I think back to my own story, which I'll come on to in a second, was it something that gave you confidence, the fact that you had a team to support and a tribe, if you want to call it that, to be part of? Because it certainly did for me.
It was really weird. I remember buying my first shirt from the City store at the Arndale. I think it was like 1994. And wear it in public, and you look at people looking at you. I had like King Clancy on the back of it, and people were like staring, and I thought, what are they looking at me for? And I realised it was my football shirt, and it's like, I'm wearing a football shirt. And then it kind of went from there. But yeah, it's a sense of almost like a belonging, isn't it? And a sense of togetherness. And yeah, after that, me and Simon started going to games together. I wasn't allowed to go to Main Road till I think 96 it was, but my first game, we'll get on to obviously, was an away game earlier than that. But yeah, it was very much like a sense of belonging, and I loved it.
Well, before I ask Matty, I'll just give you the story for me from that point of view. I remember as a kid, I was extremely shy, very quiet. You know what? I still am, even though people won't believe that. And in the class, I was a very quiet kid who could easily have been picked on. And by accident, I found out that by being a football fan, because I genuinely had an interest in football, it's been something that had fascinated me, the game, the tactics, the way that footballers play. And I was a City fan, I suppose, because my uncle was a United fan who used to come round and torment me and tease me. And I always looked at United as being a bit like him, and I loved him, by the way, but a bit arrogant and a bit over the top. And I was more this quiet kid. And so somehow the Sky Blue fitted with that. Colin Bell being this modest superstar fitted with that. He wasn't anything like the best Lord Charlton sort of mob. And so there's suddenly at school as a kid, when I said, I'm a football fan, I'm a season ticket holder actually. Well, I wouldn't said it quite as fully as that. Even the bullies would sort of go, he's all right, him. And suddenly I was like left alone. And I thought, I like this. So that was part of the reason that my passion, I suppose, grew. And the more I got involved, the more I went to away games, the more people gave me some sort of credibility. This is deeply going into psyche now, because you could argue that all these years later, I'm still doing it, and I'm still doing stuff. And when people say nice things about what I do, that sort of almost gives me a reason to exist. So there you go, a little bit of that feels like I've just been on the chaise long talking to the psychiatrist. What's your story? Is it as deep as that, Matty?
I wouldn't say it's as deep as that. Is really interesting though. Mine came from my dad, so his parents weren't really into football at all, and his older sister, took him to watch Arsenal. And he didn't really enjoy it. He preferred the Sky Blue City. I think he was obsessed with the Sky Blue City, and he literally started following Man City. And when you asked the question, I was thinking to myself, I don't actually know. Like, it's always been second nature to me to be a Man City fan and to be obsessed with football. I've never really thought about the why. I think from as young as I can remember, I've been in Man City kits, and I think my dad literally forced the football in front of me as soon as I could walk. So it's always been in me, and yeah, I remember going to my first game at about 5 years old and being amazed by the atmosphere and the floodlights and the football as well. And yeah, it's just, City's always been something that I've been proud to, like you said about wearing the shirt, like when you go on holiday to a different place, or even when you just walk down the street and you're wearing your Man City top, it was just like a pride thing. And when I was in school, we weren't the best team, and obviously everyone else supported Man United or maybe Liverpool and the odd local one, and I kind of like that underdog feeling. So like if we did go in and we'd beat them, there's a very rare occasions we beat Man United when I was in school, but when we did, I just felt that smugness that they always had on their faces, but it wasn't like a recurring thing. Like they'd always be not that bothered about their result, and I'd be wanting to talk about it all the time, and I was just obsessed with football, and all my friends were, and I loved playing it as well. So like there's never been a reason really, it's just been second nature to me from as young as I can remember. I've always loved football.